Kia ora koutou. Ko Angela Caves tōku ingoa, nō mai, haere mai. Welcome to the Central North Island Business Growth and Support Virtual Conference. My name is Angela Caves and I'm the Partnership and Events Lead for Digital Boost. It's my pleasure to be hosting you this afternoon. Welcome to our audience who have joined us here in the webinar now, and a warm welcome to anybody who is viewing via live stream on either Facebook, LinkedIn or YouTube. Thank you for tuning in to hear all about the breadth of support available to the Central North Island business community. On the webinar this afternoon is my co-host, Briar. Briar is from Business.govt.nz and is an Employment Liaison Advisor. Briar's going to run us through some webinar housekeeping and then introduce our guest presenter this afternoon. Thanks, Briar.
Ngā mihi kia koutou, everybody. So for those of you that are joining us by webinar, you can see and hear us, but we can't see you or hear you. So please feel free to add any questions or comments into the chats, either by using the Q&A function down the bottom of your screen, or the chat function available. We'll address these questions towards the end of our presentation. Our sessions are being recorded, and will be uploaded to the YouTube Digital Boost channel for post-event viewing, so that you can tap into those at a later date if you wish to rewatch a session. All registered attendees will be provided a link to this via email post the event. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you Mason Rutene from Business.govt.nz. Welcome, Mason.
Kia ora tātou. Yeah, kia ora everybody. I'm Mason Rutene, as was said. I'm from Hawke's Bay, but working in Wellington at the moment, and I'm hailing to you from Business.gov. We bring tools and expert advice from government and industry designed to help small businesses. We do this across 3 different avenues, mainly content, newsletter, and our tools. So we bring information and advice from across government and the private sector into one place to essentially help small businesses achieve what they've set out to do. So focusing on a customer-centered design, everything we do is from that customer-centered design. We go out, we make research in the market, and we see what's failing, and we try to bring solutions together.
Mason, sorry, I'm just wondering if you've got any accompanying slides. They're not quite showing, so I wonder if we could re-share your screen, if that's possible.
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry about that. It says
Right.
it's sharing.
That's okay. We'll just stop that and try again. There we go. It's loading now. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Mason.
Is that on? Sorry about that, Angela.
That's all good. There you go.
So as I was saying, one of our main avenues is our content. So if you go on our website, which I'll show you a little bit later in this presentation, we have a lot of written content, and that is built to help support small businesses in many different ways, whether they want to grow, whether they want to just expand out into different regions, for example, whether they want to start exporting or inputting goods. A lot of those things we bring together from subject matter experts in the private sector and in government. Our newsletter. So our newsletter is another huge tool that we use to get information out to small businesses. Our newsletter is a monthly and special edition newsletter. So we usually do one a month, and then every now and again we do a special edition that's essentially to help a small business through a difficult time, like tax time, for example, or we'll do a special edition on mental health and well-being for small business owners. And this goes out to 850,000 recipients every month. So I'd recommend, if you're a small business owner, to join that newsletter, and you'll get specialized advice from across the board. So our tools, our digital tools, a tool is essentially a digital solution to a real world problem. So our tools vary from across the site, whether it can help you with cash flow forecasting, for example, our One Check tool, where essentially if you have a new business and you want to search that name in a register, it'll tell you whether that social media handle is available, whether that web domain is available, and things like that. So thank you. So now I'm going to go through a few of these tools a bit more in depth and explain how they help small businesses. So the first one is Employment Agreement Builder. This makes it easy to create tailored employment agreements. So we're essentially trying to cut out the lawyers here. Well, not cut them out, but essentially trying to save small businesses time and money here, because we know that first sort of contract can cost a lot of money. So we make 5 different types of guidance essentially, and 800 completed agreements a week, 36,000 today, and each one of these contracts has been used 5 times over. So we can see how small business owners are actually making use of this tool to create their contracts and then use them for further expanding their business through extra labor. The next tool is OneCheck. I briefly mentioned this before. So OneCheck is a great tool. Essentially, if you're growing or starting business, or a business already set up, I would recommend just doing a quick search on here. Essentially, say if you're thinking of a Facebook name or a Twitter handle or anything like that, you can search that up on here and it'll tell you if that's available. And same thing with web domain names. And that can actually help inform the name of your business, because it's marketability and it's whether or not you can search it on Google. There's a lot of different factors that go into there, and that'll help explain that to you. Compliance matters. So as we know, running a small business in different industries, there's a lot of different government compliance that you need to abide by to legally run a business essentially. So we've tried to collate all of that into one tool, and that's Compliance Matters. So 308 obligations, 24 agencies, one easy search tailored to users' business. So we've got a lot of obligations in there and a lot of compliance. And essentially you can go in there, you can say what industry you're in and make it even more specific. So it tells you exactly what you need to do essentially to be compliant. Choose business structure. This is one I'd recommend when you're at the start of your business journey, but you can still relook at your business structure if you do want to expand into other areas, for example. So if you're planning on starting up a business, I would go to the Choose Business Structure tool, and this will take you through step by step, essentially what a business structure means to your company in terms of liability, in terms of what sort of structure you want to go by in the next, say, 5 years, and how this will affect your business, your legal obligations, and it'll take you all through that and then give you an educated answer on what sort of business structure you may want according to your needs and demands, essentially. So I'll just skip past that. So our newsletter is a huge part of our content. So we actually have a dedicated writer that's writing this newsletter. So we go out and we work with private sector subject matter experts, and this can be anything from, say, getting through tax time. We did one last year where we worked with accountants, we worked with bookkeepers, we worked with IRD, and that was all to bring expert advice to small businesses on how to get through tax time, easy ways to save you time and money. That was our main focus of that newsletter. So you'll get that a lot. And then also just anything that we think will help small businesses and expert advice as well. So yeah, Digital Boost is another huge one. So this isn't on Business.gov, but we do have some of the videos, but I just recommend this to any small business. It's a great service if you want to go on and learn more about how to digitize your business into the next generation, because since COVID, a lot of people have had to become more tech savvy essentially, and this is a good way to really start your journey there. So I really recommend that. And that's all for me. Thank you so much. And ready for Q&A.
Kia ora, Mason, that was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing some really good information there. I noticed we've got a couple of questions here, so I'll just tap right in and ask them for you. So how up to date is the Business.gov site, and can I trust that it is giving me the most up to date information when it comes into legislation?
Yes, so we're consistently updating that. Yes, essentially, whenever new information comes in from within government, from the private sector, we're constantly looking at that, and then we're bringing that back and updating that on the site. So our written content I would say once we get new information from the government, it would be updated within the next week. So you can always count on that information being very updated.
Perfect, thank you. And there's another here. If I wanted to speak to someone about information on the site, do you have a team that I can speak or meet with?
Yeah, of course. So I can drop a number in the chat in a little bit. I'll grab that for you. But there is a service that you can call, and it's essentially a small business line that can help you maneuver through these subjects. But I would also, if you're having some issues, I would honestly recommend going on Business.gov or Digital Boost. And if you have a specific issue that you want to look at, say tax time, or you can even Google that specific passage, and it'll give you a business.gov page according to that search. So I'd see what information is out there and then call that number if you need further guidance. But a lot of those problems will be solved from that written content as well.
Awesome, thanks. And we've got one more here. If I wanted to start exporting, can Business.gov help?
Yeah, of course. So we have a lot of new content on exporting on our site. We have a new tool. So if you're looking to test whether you're actually ready to export or if that's the best option for your business, we have a self-assessment tool that you can go through, and it's essentially like a quiz. It takes you through 10 different statements, and then you answer, and then it'll give you the tools essentially to be like, are you ready to export? If not, here's what you need to do first. Here's a planning template. We've also built a planning template with NZTE, and that's to help exporters essentially write a full business plan to export overseas. And then there's also written content as well that we've written that essentially one of the pages highlights every government agency that's involved in exporting and how they can help you. So it's essentially like a roadmap to getting into exporting. So I'd recommend going to business.gov, and going on that exporting section and taking a look there and seeing if you're ready. And if you're not, there's always, it'll guide you to more options and how you can get ready.
Beautiful, thank you so much. I can't see that we've got any other questions in there. Shall we hand back to Angela?
Thanks for that, Brian. Mason, what we might do is actually just take a little tour around the site since we've got plenty of time, and maybe you can show us some of that export stuff. So if I just drop that there, can you just confirm for me that that's showing business.gov on the screen there, Brian, Mason? You can see that?
Yes.
Perfect. So if we were wanting to start an export journey, where would we navigate to on here?
Yeah, on the export journey, so I'd go to the drop-down menu in the top left.
Yes.
And how to grow.
Yes.
And exporting here.
Okay.
And there we have 4 different pages on different areas of exporting. And I would start with what you need to know about exporting. That's the first one. And then it'll give you written content and then take you through a tool which helps you test if you're ready to export.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah, it's and all our written content is broken down into a lot of bullet points and very easy to follow. And then it goes into the self-assessment tool. So getting ready to export, asking you, are you ready to export, and taking you through exactly what's needed to be prepared to export. And if you're not ready, it'll lead you on to our other partners in that exporting agency that can actually help you get ready to export.
Nice. Okay, cool.
And then also, I might just show you another page really quick. If you go back to the menu.
Yep.
And create a good export plan. So on this page, we've actually worked with NZTE to build an export plan. So it's an export planning template, which you can actually fill out yourself, and it'll take you through every single thing that's needed, essentially, to get ready to export from overseas stockists to getting through customs to, if you're food and fiber, working with MPI and how that's a completely different process. So it'll take you all through that, and then you'll have a rock solid exporting plan, and that'll also help you when you're trying to get investment and things like that as well.
Nice. Okay, perfect. Now, somebody's asking us about, can we see compliance? Where would we find that?
Yeah, so if you go up the top and
Menu,
go back to the menu and go tools and resources.
tools and resources. There we
Yep.
go.
So if you scroll down a tiny bit, as you can see, that this is our whole tools page, by the way, guys, and I would really recommend visiting this when you first go to business.gov and just seeing what tools we have on store and how this can actually help sort of streamline your business and make things a little bit more simple. So yeah, as Angela's hovering over there, 10 steps to start a business is a great one. If you're in the beginning stages and really thinking about taking that to the next level, this will take you through those steps that are actually needed there.
Yeah, and this is a really great here, writing a business plan, particularly this would fit in with MSDs, some of their products and services. If you're looking to apply for some funding to be, self-employed, start your own business, a really great template here of being able to put together some of the, the skeletons or the bones of a business plan, and then getting a little bit of extra support with that as well. Right, we're looking for compliance, aren't we? So, grow business performance, cash flow, accounting, hiring people. There's a lot of information on here.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, it's really comprehensive. So,
alternatively, you can also, I wanted to take you through this tools page, but you can also go to the search up the top here.
Oh yeah.
And if you go compliance matters. Yep. And also, if you want to search a subject or anything like that, you can go to that top search bar, and that can give you an easier sort of search. But if you do want to browse as well, you can use the menu.
Okay. So this just takes us to, we can specifically choose. All right. So if we
so you can choose what sort of compliance you do want to learn about, and then it'll take you through a few other questions like what industry are you in, what sort of business do you own.
Okay. Licensing and registering. Let's just do one to have a wee look at it. Search your industry. Business structure, that's an interesting one as well. What if I don't know, like, let's say I'm thinking of starting a business. How do I know which business structure I should be choosing?
Yeah, that's a good point. So if you're looking at compliance, I would probably look at our business structure tool first.
Okay.
Cool. Because if you're at that early in your business sort of planning, I probably wouldn't look at compliance as the first thing. I would look at what sort of structure you're going to take. And then one check would also be a good tool in that space. And then moving on to, okay, what do I need to comply with the law essentially?
Okay, right. So starting with structuring your business and then moving into those other bits and pieces. Okay. So we can just navigate straight back through and tools and resources.
Also, if you don't mind, going to a section on here.
Yeah.
If you go to wellbeing support.
Yes.
So this is another new sort of section of our site that I've actually personally been working on with one of my colleagues, and it's to support mental health and well-being of small business owners. So recently we've actually hosted a webinar. I'm not sure if any of you may have been there, but it was with a professional, Dr. Elizabeth Berryman, who's a psychiatrist, and she hosted a webinar on how to get through summer and practical well-being tips on how to get through summer and the busy period essentially. And also in that space, we've created a few different videos, as you can see here, staying resilient during tough times, how do you measure success, tips for beating isolation. And then there's a bunch of content as well. So written content through here, money and your mental health, for example, boss burnout, I'm sure a few of you are bosses and you would know very well about boss burnout. And that's so we're a lot of the mental health and wellbeing stuff. We've actually worked with subject matter experts in the private sector, so that's psychologists, psychiatrists, people working in the wellbeing space, to really get that expert advice on how to get through those tough times. And we know this can be a difficult subject to talk about, so we've tried to structure this content as easy and accessible and as engaging as possible, and in shorter sort of spurts, so it's easier to consume. So I'd really recommend, there's some great practical advice on here. And yeah, everything's very practical. It's very, how can I sort of do these small things to support my wellbeing?
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it is really, really comprehensive on Business.gov, in all facets of, your business journey, really. And it's great to know that it's kept up to date relatively quickly when any, official legislation changes are made. So we know that we've got a reliable source of knowledge and information there.
Definitely.
At everyone's fingertips. So, yeah, really handy. I was just going to have a look at the tool around choosing your business structure. Just wanted to kind of show how really simple that is. Here we go. So choose your business structure, get started, help me choose a structure. So it's a really simple questionnaire. How many business owners would there be? So just one. Do you plan to look for investors or sell the business in the future? Let's say not at this point. Is the business likely to involve any large costs, loans, or debt? And let's say not at this stage. View the result. So we're looking at a sole trader there with a little bit more information about it and how you can then compare sole traders and companies down here. I always think it's really, really handy.
It's very handy, and it'll give you exactly what a sole trader means, because you can say sole trader, but without the information to back it, it doesn't really mean too much. So it's actually breaking that down as to what that means for legal liability, for example, and things like that. Because a sole trader, you're a lot more liable than a partnership in a company, for example. So just like little things like that that aren't always common knowledge that we've tried to put in there as well.
Cool. I also think that the one check tool is really, really vitally important. I think, is particularly if you're going to have an online presence or running an e-commerce store, you want to be making sure that you're not picking the same names as somebody else, or there's going to be a conflict of interest there, because that would cause you potentially a lot of problems in the future. So yeah, I always thought that the one check tool was really, really handy. And great to see that is it one check that includes social media handles now as well.
Yep.
Nice.
Even TikTok now, so we've got it covered for the younger generation as well.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Mason, for sharing and taking us through some of the essentials of the platform. It's been really, really great to hear. And again, like I said, it's such a comprehensive website. So much you could spend sort of all day on there. I think probably a good piece of advice is just to take everything one step at a time. Go through it kind of methodically and tick off as you go.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that.
Awesome, thanks. On the screen there, I have popped the details of all the connected locations that you can go to in the Central North Island. So if you're not quite ready to start your journey as either a sole trader or you're starting your business, but you might be in the next few months and you need a one-stop shop, Connected is that place to go to where they will tee you up with the organisations that can help you on your business journey. One of those places is us here at Digital Boost. Please do let us know if you feel like you are an organisation that is already doing digital really well. We would love to showcase you on our platform in our real world stories, really showcasing Kiwi businesses that are doing a digital well or that have been through a digital transformation. If you aren't on your digital transformation journey yet, we do have hundreds of videos on our platform that will help you start that. Again, it's something that you can do in small bite-sized learning pieces of content on the platform as well. You don't have to, hopefully it's designed so that it's not too overwhelming to start adopting digital within your business, and our platform is there to help build your digital capabilities. That does bring our session to a close. So once again, thank you so much to Mason and the Business.gov team for joining us this afternoon. We do have Puna Kukuri up next at 2:30. So if you'd like to come and hear what they've got to offer the business community, we'll see you then. And then we'll round out the day this afternoon with New Zealand Trade and Enterprise. So if you are particularly keen on looking at that exporting side of your business, please join us in that session at 3:15. Other than that, I do hope you all have a wonderful afternoon, and thanks again for joining us. See you later.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Mason.